In this Star Wars Outlaws news update video, I will be sharing with you even more brand new details about the game, from the open world planets that we can explore, to some of the characters, as well as some technical details that were just released. I've got all of it in this video, so make sure you do watch until the end, because you won't want to miss any of it. Before we do get into the details though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on Star Wars Outlaws. So a few of the directors have done interviews with a bunch of media outlets, and I'm going to be going through the most interesting pieces that have come out of these interviews, starting with ND5, the Commando Droid. So apparently, ND5 comes with a very dark past, which is very interesting indeed. He's going to be hired to keep an eye on Kay, and they'll develop a bond, which is really a core part of the narrative of the game. In terms of technical details, it was stated that the team at Massive picked a few things that they really wanted to push technically or skill-wise, and they started investing in those. So one of them is the streaming in the engine to allow the assets in the open world and its freedom for exploration with the speeder or your spaceship. Another was getting to grips with a more cinematic presentation for that Star Wars feel. As we saw in the 10-minute gameplay video, we had the game running in widescreen. Many of us assumed it was just on a widescreen monitor, and was a somewhat strange choice why they did this, but that is not the case. It was an actual widescreen presentation mode that's going to be an option in the game. This is the widescreen format that movies use. Personally, I don't think that this was a great way to show off the game for the first time, especially when it wasn't mentioned in small text at the bottom of the screen to explain this mode, that you're able to toggle it on or off and it's not on a widescreen monitor. I think this is cool and some people will like it, but I think some people were confused by what they saw. The developers go on to say, there's also technical elements like giving the image a cinematic feel to it as well. So all of these things added up, we spent a lot of time and effort on narrative tools to give the players a sense of agency in conversations too. Moving on to factions, and this has been confirmed to be Jabba the Hutt himself. That's right, Jabba is in the game, and we do get to see him in this trailer, and the Hutt Cartel will also be part of the game as one of the factions that you can do business with or create issues for. Same goes for the Pike Syndicate and a new organisation called the Ashiga Clan. Speaking of Jabba, one of the developers was quoted saying this: "This is the first time for true freedom to explore Tatooine. Where is Jabba's palace? How do I get there? Well, I can jump on my speeder and find it." And then the interviewer asks, "You can do that?" And the developer says, "We'll see." So that seems to suggest, yes indeed, Jabba's palace will be an area that you'll be able to just ride past the Dune Sea and visit, which is pretty interesting. Moving on to another open world planet, and we have more information on Tashara. So Tashara, in case you have forgotten, is the planet that most of the gameplay video takes place on. The developers say that this planet is handcrafted, and what's awesome is that we could really create something unique that has sort of an East African savanna inspiration combined with these canyons with a dense urban city. Based on what they've said, I think this planet is going to be the Kobo of this game. So if you haven't played Jedi Survivor, Kobo is the main planet in the game. There are other planets that you can explore, but Kobo is by far the biggest. That was where most of the time was spent crafting this awesome semi-open world. So Tashara is going to be the main open world of this game. Just like how Respawn and EA showed off Kobo for Jedi Survivor in its gameplay reveal, this is how Ubisoft and Massive decided to show off Tashara for their gameplay reveal. The developers were asked if other planets do have open world environments as well, like Tashara. Does Tatooine have an open world environment? Well, they responded by saying, "I think we'll have more to share on that later," with a chuckle of laughter. So it seems to indicate that, yes, you're going to be able to have open worlds other than just Tashara, but I feel like Tashara is going to be much like Cobra, where it's going to be the biggest and most expansive, and the others may be a little bit smaller, but that's just speculation based on that comment. We'll just have to wait and see. Some other open world details have been shared, so if you get caught from stealing a gang, they may refuse to work with you in the future. If you fail to bribe an Imperial Guard, they'll send squadrons out to hunt you down wherever you may be. If you are found to be sneaking through an Empire compound, there's going to be a difficult situation to get out of. So there's going to be lots of situations in the overall open world structure of Outlaws that will allow you to deal with situations in very different ways, however you like. You can blast into hyperspace and try to escape to a different star system, or ride out into the open world against those that chase you, or you could try your hand fending off increasingly challenging levels of resistance. The threat of becoming wanted is ever present and will be needed to be factored in when dealing with the Galactic Empire and the corrupt officers in its ranks. Space will also allow you to lean into contracts, smuggling, dogfighting, and pirates. That's right, pirates are going to be in this game when you're in space, and all of the things that bring the wilds of space in Star Wars to life. So who knows what may be waiting out there, which is pretty interesting. In comparison though, the cities that you will experience are very dense, very rich, and have tons of opportunities with characters to talk to, as well as a central cantina where you can pick up jobs. So it does sound like most of the planets are going to have this central hub area. It's going to be a cantina. It's going to be full of characters, full of a variety of different characters, and they'll give you jobs. But there will be other places around the planet where you'll be able to find NPCs to speak with and potentially gain information. Some people have been comparing this game to Red Dead Redemption, mostly because of its reputation level, its open worldness, Tashara and whatnot, maybe giving off some Western vibes, and Julian Golightly, who is the creative director for this game, said, "Rockstar makes the best game in the world, right?" He's not wrong. I'm not here to talk about other games, but if there's a comparison there, then it makes me feel great, because honestly, the respect I have for those experiences is colossal. In terms of how the narrative will go and the decisions you make, they won't just impact your relationship with different factions. I did say in a previous video how if you are on good terms with a faction, then you're going to get cheaper prices for equipment and explore new areas. Or if you're on bad terms, then you're going to be hunted down. Well, it's not just that. It will also affect the endpoint according to a developer. Whether this is the overall story's ending or just an objective in the game, it was not clarified. The story will change based on your decisions though, but there will also be emotional anchor beats in the story that everyone will come up against because they want to make sure they are visible and core to the story. So this game is not going to be a complete choose-your-own-adventure. It's still a canon story, so there will be events that have to happen in canon and everyone will experience, but how you get there will be different. You'll have a few options to do compared to other Star Wars games that we've had recently. Massive were asked, why make a single-player game? Because they've come off the back of The Division 1 and 2. And basically, the team just wanted to make something that wasn't live service. They've done live service for so long now and just focus on the single-player experience. And then when they had the opportunity to work on Star Wars, it was a childhood dream for most of the team. So I think that sums it up perfectly. They had enough of live service, they wanted to do something single-player, people want single-player Star Wars games, and yeah, we have a shortage of live service Star Wars games. Although for the past decade or so, people have been wanting a true open-world Star Wars game. For abilities, we've only seen one in play so far, so this is basically a multi-shot system, similar to how Deadeye works in Red Dead Redemption. The trick shot also gives the player a moment where they can hit something precisely that feels both incredibly lucky as well as spectacular. And it's all about making you feel super proficient in those moments. You can charge it up and then unleash it, and they can happen fairly often. The developers also shared some information about their relationship with Lucasfilm, so they said it's a very ongoing, very frequent collaboration with Lucasfilm. It's not just that we met them at the beginning of the project and laid the groundwork, but we talk to them every week, and we really help each other shape the tone and feel for this game, as well as its authenticity. So what we've heard about Star Wars Outlaws so far has all been pretty good in my opinion. I really hope we continue to get a trickle of information over the next few months just to help us keep learning more about this game, because an issue I've had with other Star Wars games is that we would hear something and then hear nothing for a year. This game could potentially be releasing in 18 months, so I do feel that we're incredibly lucky to have received a 10-minute gameplay demo. I think that's fantastic. They came out strong with a CG trailer, followed by this awesome gameplay video, developer commentary, and more, which is more than any other Star Wars game, to be honest. But we could just do with a little bit more every month or so, just to keep us occupied, learning more about this game, see how the game changes, because, like I said, the game could potentially be 18 months away. That's not counting any delays, so things may change over time. I will take anything small once a month, just to say, hey, this is something we can share. It's not a big deal, but it would be cool to talk about and learn more. But we've learned so much in just a short time. A lot of people are very excited for this game. I am too. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything I talked about in this video, so do let me know down in the comment section below. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss any future Star Wars Outlaws news updates. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like. Check out any of the previous videos that you may have missed on this game by clicking on the playlist on the screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.